This video contains some inaccurate information. The parts you find mildly amusing, if not downright weird, are phony baloney. But for the most part, what you are about to see is true.
It's a blizzard out there.
Well, I'm here sitting in Bruce the Cat. I'm not going to be flying today because it's a blizzard. And I'm a VFR pilot and I don't fly in blizzards. But I thought, well, wouldn't it be interesting while we can't fly, we could at least sit in the airplane and take a look at the awesome panel that Bruce the Cat sports. This thing is amazing, and I'm going to talk about the Chronometer panels and all the instruments that I have and give you a little bit more of a detailed description. A lot of you have been asking about that, so I'm going to do it for you. So, woohoo! All right, so right now everything is dark, everything is off. I'm just going to show you the procedure. We'll just get to it, and then I'm going to describe as much as I can to you. Realize I don't know everything about the panels. They're about as complex as you want them to be, and I haven't fiddled around with everything, so I'm going to do my best to navigate through it. And if you have questions, I'm sure I can maybe try to answer them, and if not, I'll find somebody that can. Sound good? All right. So, sitting in here, I am ready to power on. So first thing we do is master switch, and then the Nessus on. Takes us a little bit of time for it to reboot. There we go. There's the Stratix powering up, my ASB. All right, and then we'll also turn on the backup instrument called the Horus. And I might as well turn on the radios too for you. Okay. It's just mesmerizing to look at these. I love it. All right, so let's go from left to right to tell you what I've got here, and then we'll look at the specifics of each panel. All right, sounds good? Okay, we have on the left here a heater switch, heater off, heater on. We've got a couple of circuit breakers here, circuit breaker heater here, the hops meter here. Got the Chronometer Nessus 3 820 panel right here. I've got the Horus, which is the backup instrument, which is really cool. We'll see that in just a moment. Trig radio, trig transponder. Have the switches here, all the on switches. Master switch down here, the mags are down here at the bottom. Charge light is on, of course, because we're not running the engine. Then I also have my iPad mini, which is what I use for my backup nav, basically, and all the current information about airports and NOTAMs and everything else. I use WingX as my iPad platform, which I really like. I'm not a ForeFlight kind of guy because it's too complex. It's not necessary for somebody like me who just flies for fun. I'm not an IFR pilot. ForeFlight's really good for people who are really into aviation with all kinds of ratings. I'm not there, and WingX I have found to be very easy, very user-friendly. So we'll just leave that up there as well. Okay, well, before my battery runs out, let's go ahead and look at the glass panel of Bruce the Cat. Again, as I mentioned, this is the Nessus 3. I think it's an 8.5. Is it 8-inch or 8.5-inch? I'm not sure, but it's a very large screen. It's the largest one that Chronometer makes. And the first thing that comes up is the modern display. We've got your miles per hour here. You've got your variometer here, climb and descent here, your altimeter here. It'll tell you AGL, your altimeter setting down here. It also has a G load meter. Ground speed here, true airspeed there. Down here is also a very cool feature, and I've mentioned it before in previous videos, that this thing will give you wind speed and direction wherever you are, either on the ground or in the air. It is always dead on. I don't know how they do it, but they do it, and so I always know what the winds are doing. That's really cool. Engine RPM down here. We have manifold pressure, cylinder head temperature, exhaust gas temperature, monitoring oil temperature, water temperature, oil pressure, fuel pressure, volts, and fuel level. There are a myriad of screens that you can use here, and I don't know if you can see the buttons in the darkness of this area here, but there's just a few buttons, not a whole bunch. This button on the left is just the multiple screens that you have available to you. So all you have to do is hit that button once and you go to the next screen, which is my favorite that I use all the time. It is a Nav Screen combination with the modern display. And with this little rotator knob, you can zoom in on where you are and zoom out. This is also a touch screen, so you can, just by pushing your finger on the screen and just holding it for a little while, then you can start moving it to whatever destination that you want to go. You can zoom out. You can zoom out with your fingers or with the knob. And this Nisus also shows you the weather. So if there's some bad weather, isn't that cool? Now, in order to go into a particular destination, all you have to do is, if you want to find your destination on the map itself, say I want to fly to Galt. I always want to fly to Galt. Just find Galt here. There it is, Galt Airfield. Click on Galt Airfield. Hit select, and you're loaded in. On the top screen, it'll give you all kinds of information that you need to know. Upper left is the outside temperature, and then you have a chronometer. So as soon as your engine starts, the chronometer will start. You have your heading, your dialed in heading for your destination. So it would want me to go, to a heading of 240. My destination to Galt is 26.2 miles. Galt is the actual name of the destination airport with the little flag there. You have your heading in front right here, and also a little heading bug on top, which is really quite nice. It'll give you your ground speed, the actual clock, the time that we have right now. Oh, there's my radios are going off, and then whether or not you've got good signal, ADS-B in. All right, so there's another screen that you can go to. Going back to the screen button, hit that, and you basically have your six-pack now. Airspeed here, altitude, RPMs, variometer, nav screen, artificial horizon. My dad likes this. He's an old school pilot. He likes the old school gauges. He sometimes looks at that when we're flying. Another screen you can go to is your engine monitoring. You have gallons per hour, manifold pressure, RPMs, voltage, oil pressure, your fuel gauge, oil temperature, cylinder head temperature, exhaust gases, local time, outside temperature. Very nice. And then back to the modern screen. If you take your rotator knob and you push it, you can go to all different kind of options that you have. You can create a waypoint. Rather than going to your nav screen, just go to waypoint, and then you can actually pick what you want to do. Either go to an airport if you want to fly VFR flyway, a nav aid, so you can set markers if you want. So say if you want to go to airport, again, this is all touchscreen. hit airport, and I've got a bunch in here already in the memory. But you can also search for it. So if you just click on search and then enter in your destination, let's go to Galt. Click it, and your nav screen will show it. Yep, there it is, on the way to Galt. Isn't that cool? Now you also have a complete nav screen, which shows a myriad of extra features for navigation. There's one thing that I really do like, is that it will give you the 2 nearest airports. So say you have some kind of an emergency in flight and you need to get down in a hurry, you won't have to look anywhere but those 2 spots about the closest airports that are in your area, and it'll tell you if you are within gliding distance of that airport, which is very nice. So also there is a terrain level indicator at the bottom right hand corner of the nav screen. So if you have elevated terrain coming towards you, you'll be able to see it as you are progressing over. All right, now so on the second panel you can do pretty much everything that I've been showing you on the first panel. You can scroll through the screens. Everything's pretty much the same. And the instruments actually are slaved to that second screen. So whatever the airspeed here is showing on the left, it's going to be showing on the right as well. So back to the rotator knob, if you click it and scroll down and rotate down to options and click on that, then it gives you all the options that you do have apart from flying instruments, like a logbook, routes that you can put into memory. So let's take a look at the logbook. Scanning logbook, please wait. All right, so every one of my flights is recorded. It'll tell you the time that you took off, the time that you landed, and if you click on each one, you'll get details. So there we go. Pilot, flight, landing, duration. That is so cool. So say you forget to write into your logbook and you can't remember what you did on any particular day, just go to your airplane, it'll tell you. Click on routes. This also stores in memory favorite destinations. So if you just click on those, you don't have to re-input them all the time. Nice little feature. Click on settings. Now there's a password here that you got to use. You're going to change your settings. So don't look. I'm not going to let you look. I'm not going to tell the world what my password is. Okay. This will bring you to a user setting. So you click on user, it'll show you the language options that you have, the time zone settings. Oh, there's the password, don't look at it. Aircraft designation number, nearest airfields, all kinds of stuff here for user. And then units, climb rate, distance, airspeed, miles, in miles per hour. You can customize the panel for any airplane, knots, miles per hour, whatever you like. Range and fuel, give you your average cruising speed, your fuel consumption. Screens, you can choose for true north, which is what I like. I always like the screen showing what north is, but some pilots like the heading reference, rather. You can program what screen you want to start when you start up the Nisus. I have the modern screen. All customizable. Maintenance. You can program the Canardia to tell you when your next maintenance check is due. My next maintenance check, which will be an oil change, is due at 285 hours. Very nice. You can have a listing of how many pilots by name are flying this plane. Right now there's just one, Bushcat Tom. You have alarms. Now what's really cool about the Canardia, you can program it to say things like terrain, 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 or traffic, traffic, traffic. That is annoying. I don't have that function turned on, but I do have others that will flash on my screen if, say, my fuel pressure gets too low or my oil temperature gets too high. It will tell me that, but not traffic, traffic, traffic. I can see the traffic on the ADSB. Yeah, I don't want a constant alarm. Not in voice anyway. But that's just my preference. It may not be yours. Brightness level can be adjusted. Audio levels can be adjusted. Your compass, again, you can have to put your password in here, but you can calibrate your compass. ADSB, range settings, messages, everything that you want to put on there. Waypoints. You can also update the panel via a USB. So you click on that, put in your USB with the update, and that's how I got that second screen, the modern screen, navigation screen combination. That was the most recent update that Canardia did, and I really like that. So pretty neat. So let's go back to the modern screen. All right, there we go. There's the Canardia Nisus. Really bright, by the way. Even in bright sunshine with snow on the ground and there's so much light in the cockpit, you can always see the display. I think it's better than most, in my opinion. All right, so let's go to other features on the panel. Let's look at the Horus, which is also a Canardia product. And this is my backup instrument. This instrument has its own battery, it has its own power backup. So if everything else goes black, that will stay on for me, and I think I got at least a half-hour reserved, maybe if not more, to use that. Artificial horizon, airspeed indicator, altitude, true airspeed. It'll give me my heading, it'll give me outside temperature, also give me the altimeter setting. But not only that, click on this button and you have a compass option, you have a G meter option, and you have a chronometer as well. Stopwatch, flight time, very cool. A couple other features here that are very nice for entertainment purposes. If I go into options here and I click on Bugs Bunny right here, a couple other options that are very unique to the Bushcat, and that is this button right here, my rocket assist. Now what's really cool about rocket assist here, which I don't use too often because it burns so much fuel. I mean, I can only get like a 10-second burst before I'm empty. But you know, when I'm in a jam and I need to get away in a hurry, you know, it comes in really handy. And what's really cool is that it is not connected to an engine, so it works independently of the engine. So the engine does not have to be running in order for the rocket assist to work. In fact, here, let me show you. Okay. All right. Well, so does that help you a little bit? I hope it does. Okay. Well, wasn't that fun? I don't know if that answered all your questions, but if you've got some, leave them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer as best I can, or I'll find you the answer if I cannot find it. Okay? All right, so, well, so what should I do now? I don't want to go home, and we can't fly. I know. Let's watch Bugs Bunny. Here we go.
What's up, Doc?
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wile E. Coyote. Genius. I am not selling anything, nor am I working my way through college. So let's get down to cases. You are a rabbit, and I am going to eat you for supper. Now, don't try to get away. I am more muscular, more cunning, faster, and larger than you are, and I'm a genius, while you could hardly pass the entrance examinations to kindergarten. So I'll give you the customary 2 minutes to say your prayers.
I'm sorry, Mac. The lady of the house ain't home, and besides, we mailed you people a check last week. Why do they always want to do it the hard way?